to do this a lot, like 20 times. So this is the one. I hope it works. I've been talking to some people about what their expectations are for when they bring their kids to Disney for the first time, and some things that I think I should share, or that I kind of set out to share, were my tips for getting through Disney World with kids and enjoying it. My first tip really is a story about how I was surprised when I got to Disney World, because I didn't know that you had to fold your stroller to get onto transportation. We had this huge mountain buggy terrain stroller. It's a regular size jogging stroller, but for a stroller, it takes up a lot of space. Even when it's folded flat, it was like 4 feet long. I was surprised that we had to fold it to get onto the bus. We had to take everything that we had thought we could shove into the stroller out of the stroller so that we could, get in there without everything rolling all over the bus. So that would be my first tip, is be aware that when you go with a stroller, you have to fold it up to get on transportation. There's some exceptions, and that would be the monorail and the ferry boat. But even during really busy times, you might have to fold it. So just keep that in mind. On the topic of strollers, I've gone through 4 strollers. So I did a bob, a peg, I think it's called Prego, the mountain buggy. And then when I went to Disney World with my daughter for the first time, I noticed everyone seemed to have the same stroller. And I was like, there's something about this stroller that I don't know. So I looked into it, and it's the Baby Jogger City series that I see all over Disney World. And I decided on getting the City Elite. They discontinued it, which is a huge bummer. But you can still rent that jogging stroller from different companies in Orlando, and you can still buy it. It's just pretty expensive. I saw it on Amazon for $700, which is a lot. I love the stroller though. I think it's amazing. It can suit really tall children, and I think the weight capacity is up to 65 or 70 pounds, and it folds up very easily with one hand, and it reclines really deep, and there's like a footrest on it. It's an amazing stroller. Oh, and it's got a handbrake. I love a handbrake, okay? I don't know why most strollers have foot brakes, or most strollers that I've used have foot brakes, but the handbrake is where it's at. So we spend a lot of time in the parks when we go. Our daughter naps in the stroller, and she's very comfortable in it. That was one of the things I wanted, was to make sure that she had a really comfortable stroller so that she could nap in, so that we could get the most out of our visit and spend as much time in the park as we wanted. Another thing that you might not know when you go is that there are different spots within each park where you're supposed to park your stroller. So if you just leave your stroller someplace where you think is convenient for you, cast members will identify it, and as someone has gone on an attraction and left the stroller, or for whatever reason left the stroller, and they'll move it to the nearest stroller parking. My tip there is find out where stroller parking is closest to what's convenient for you. The attraction you're going into, or the last attraction you're gonna see before you want to use your stroller again, and park your strollers there. The easiest way to do that is ask a cast member. That way you're not gonna lose it, and you're not gonna spend a whole bunch of time looking for it. And another great way not to spend time looking for your stroller, I discovered when we went December of 2015, is to put lights on it. So I decided I had wanted to decorate for Christmas and be kind of festive, and I just put some super cheap string lights on my stroller. But what I noticed is when you go to stroller parking to pick up your stroller, it's very easy to spot, because even if you park your own stroller in stroller parking, it can get moved by cast members just because they have to kind of keep space open. It was easy to spot with the lights on. And then another benefit that I found really awesome is people can see you coming when you're walking down like Main Street or whatever, and there's a parade or whatever is going on. They can see you coming, and they get out of your way because nobody wants to get run over by a stroller. But if you're not paying attention, which you won't be if then you don't see it coming, and then it's a lot more difficult to navigate. So I did find that putting lights on it made a huge difference, and I bought some from Amazon, and I have a video that I'm hoping to include where you can see the stroller lights around it for like $11, and it's just the battery operated string lights with their roses, and I just put them around the canopy and around the sides of the stroller so it's not on the inside where my daughter might be trying to sleep or like being crazy in her face, because the light is super bright pink, but it's really easy to spot, and it's I think it's pretty. I like it. It's different. I don't think a lot of people are gonna have pink lights maybe after this video, right? But it's definitely get some lights on your stroller and turn them on before the sun sets, and then turn them off when you get back to your room. I went like a week with these string lights and didn't have to change batteries, so it's an easy and cheap investment that'll definitely make your trip a lot easier and more fun too, because you don't have to get, you can get R2-D2 string lights or whatever, they're out there. I thought that I could shove everything in the stroller and just use it instead of a bag. You can't do that. So you can shove everything in there, but when you go through bag check, which you will have to do with the stroller, I'm pretty sure most strollers are going to need to go through bag check. If your stroller is totally empty and it's very obvious that there's nothing in it, they'll let you go through without bag check from my experience. But security has been tightened. Just keep in mind that you're going to need to go through bag check, and some security guards at bag check may let you go through with, something down in your stroller storage area because they recognize what it is. But a lot of them want you to take everything out of the stroller so that they can check it. And then my tip for bag check in and of itself is bring a bag that'll fit everything you want to carry, that's easy to get in and out of your stroller. Before you put your bag on the table, have everything unzipped. I found a lot of the security guards will zip it back up as they go through, some won't, and just don't let that ruin your trip if the security guard doesn't zip up your bag. They need to check everything. So if you have a bag within a bag, you need to open that too. So all of your zipper pockets, anything that closes, you need to have open. I think the only exception is like a Ziploc bag, so you can probably not have to reopen those. I have read in Walt Disney World Prep School an awesome thing that a lot of parents do, and that I did on our first few trips with our daughter, is to pack an entire outfit in a Ziploc bag. So diaper, if you're doing socks, the pants and the shirt, and pack all of the clothes that way, so even your backup clothes. And that way you can throw one in your park bag. And also, all the outfits are ready to go. So if you're trying to get yourself ready, and maybe your partner is available to get the little one dressed, it's very easy to just pull out a bag and put those clothes on. It's just nice to have that extra convenience there so that the clothes are ready to go. That was a great tip. Whoever came up with that, it wasn't me, I don't want to take credit for it, but I do want people to know about it. I also use a carrier, so I use a Kinder bag, and I've had, they make three or four different sizes, and then they make plus sizes as well. So they accommodate a lot of different sizes. It's made in the USA, and it's great. I love it. They have infant sizes to preschool sizes. It's infant, a standard, a toddler, and a plus. So I've had an infant, toddler, and preschool. Sorry. So if you're into it, I totally recommend bringing your carrier if you have a child that you carry or are willing to carry. Standing in line for things is nice to have. Now that my daughter's a little bit older preschooler, she can stand in line a little bit better, but when she's 2 years old, having that carrier made a huge difference in waiting in line. Keep in mind that walking from like the transportation center to even just a castle on in the Magic Kingdom is a pretty long walk. So if you're going to be exclusively carrying, just keep in mind there's a lot of walking and distance to cover at Disney World. Another great thing about the parks are the baby care centers. So there's one in each park, and I've only been to the ones at Epcot and at the Magic Kingdom. And and they're really nice. They're air conditioned, there's rocking chairs, there's a place for nursing, there's a place for, there's like changing tables, and there's like 5 or 6 huge changing tables. There's a restroom in there, and they have anything that you might need in case you're, one time my daughter went through the diaper bag and took everything out without me knowing about it. I got out the next day and needed to use it, and there was nothing there. So that could happen to you, and they have everything you need at the baby care center. Pretty sure you have to buy it, but they do have it. I really like the baby care centers. They're also right next to the restrooms in Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and I know at Magic Kingdom they're right next to the first aid station as well. Our daughter doesn't like to use public restrooms, and not because she thinks they're gross. I don't guess she does, because she spends a lot of time sitting on the floor in them. But she's terrified of the sound of the automatic flushing toilets and the hand dryers. They have in the parks companion restrooms meant for people who have disabilities who need assistance. So keep in mind that if your child will use the restroom in public and doesn't have an issue, the companion restrooms are really meant for people who have issues. But if you do find yourself in a situation like we did, the only restroom we could convince our daughter to use was the companion restroom because there were no other flushing toilets in it. That's an option for people who might be in a similar situation. And there are quite a few companion restrooms throughout the park. All of the regular restrooms do, like I know all the ladies' rooms have changing station in them, but I've found that, I'm not going to say all of them, but I'm pretty sure the majority only have one changing table, and there's no pad or anything. It's just built into the wall, and it's usually right by the entrance into the restroom. If you're someone who, wants a lot of privacy, there's not a lot of privacy there. I made a mistake, and I took my daughter, who was tall enough and had watched a lot of videos and seemed to be looking forward to it, on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Sometimes she says, I don't want to do this, and then literally the next minute she wants to do the thing she said she didn't want to do. And it's hard to gauge when she really doesn't want to do something and she's trying to tell you something different about it versus when she wants to do something and, if you have a little one, you'll understand when you reach that age or if you've been through that age. I took her on the ride, and I think she was okay. She didn't freak out on the ride, but after that ride, she didn't want to ride a lot of the things that she had been riding. The teacups, Dumbo. She only wanted to ride Small World and the carousels after that. That was it. Everything else was too scary for her. If you get all the way through a line and you're about to board and your little one's like, I've changed my mind, I don't want to do this, don't make him do it. Just let the cast member know, hey, we're not going to do this ride. And an awesome thing about that is you can get a future rider ticket. So a future rider ticket is basically like a fast pass for whenever your child is either tall enough or reaches the age or height or whatever the requirements are for the ride. When they do, you can take it in and trade it in for a fast pass for that ride. Kind of like the rider swap ticket, where you can bring more than one person with that fast pass ticket. We got one for Space Mountain, even though I never attempted to take my daughter on it yet. It's just my favorite ride, and I thought it was a neat thing that Disney offers. And I think most of the rides you can get a future rider ticket for. So, and that's just a cool thing to have. Anyway, so those are all my tips, and I want to do a video on dining soon. So hopefully I can get up the courage to make another video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or there's anything that you want me to go over as far as surviving Disney World or just enjoying it, let me know in the comments, and please subscribe.